Okay. Hi, everybody. Like I just said, off camera or off recording. This session is specifically for the video games and immersive content funding call with a deadline of the 11th of February 2026. If you're watching this a year from now, it might be updates. So make sure you watch the ones very specifically for your funding call that you're applying for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go bring you through every aspect of the actual application process. And you can, as you're watching this, you can have it open, you can create your application, and you can fill in a lot of the bits as we're going along. So you can get a lot of the little bits done and dusted. And then you can spend the time on the integral part of the application, which is the part B, as it's called. Um, okay, so I'm going to share my screen. See? Starting at Google, start at the very beginning. This application, the portal, the Funding and Tenders portal, works best on Chrome. So if you try the others, I work a lot in Safari and it works most of the time, but occasionally it just crashes and it just doesn't click through and it just doesn't work. So you're better off just keeping it on Chrome. And you can literally start by Googling. See, I told you I was going to start from the very beginning. So, okay. So we go straight in here and we will go up to funding and we go call for proposals. And here, so over here, now this portal is for every call in the EU Commission. So, and every program. So we have to look for our own. So the program period is between 2021 to 27. The program. See, look at all the programs that are here. So you just have to make sure you find your own, which is Creative Europe. And then the call is video games. So if I think it's under, yeah. So this is what it is here. So there's 22, 23. So you're looking for the 2026, which is this one here. Here we go. So you click in here. All the information is on this page, right? So this is a very important page for you because this is where you're getting all the updates, any changes, anything is going to be on this page. So as you go down, it'll give you the topic description, any updates. So occasionally there might be a change in like very rarely, but occasionally there's a change in one of the documents or there's a delay or something. So anything comes up, everything comes up here. And then when you apply and when you submit the application, any updates on the submission time or the amount of applications or anything, if there's any changes here, it'll all come up here. So it's a good page to keep an eye on. So as we go down, so topic conditions and documents, as you notice, there's one document which is coming up all the time, and that is your Bible. That is call document, and that is the document that you need to download and follow. So here's all the more information about it. These are application form templates. Don't use them. Okay. These are literally they're samples. Some of the information might be wrong. You have to use the templates that are actually in your submission page, which I'll show you as we go through it. So it's a model grant agreement and all the additional documents, right? If you really want to go in depth into this and learn how the Creative program actually works, you will go in through this. But for what you need to know, these are the samples, but we'll go through the actual application itself. Or, yeah, the submission itself and all the templates will come up there. So again, this is the budget 10 million, which is up this year, which is good. It opened in September, closed. Okay, there are partner search announcements. You can apply to be a partner on it. You can have a look at them. A lot of it mightn't be relevant. But you might see something. That is if you want to partner up with somebody on a call. So this is the really important bit, right? Is the start submission. And actually, before we go through here, you'll see down here, this is where you go the IT help desk, online manual, funding and tenders portal FAQ, right? And if you have any, you come to us, or this is the email address for the actual agency that runs this in Brussels. But do come to us and we can help you. So you start submission. Okay, and you click OK. And then you put in your PIC number. So ours is already registered. So just make sure to register. I'm the main contact. And I'm going to be very creative and put test in for both. So this is the acronym, and this is a short summary. Now, acronym, don't put in like, you know, VG, like your video games application 2026. Like put in your because they're going to get a million of them, and they want to be able to, um, identify your one from this. So make sure you put the company or something to identify it, to make it a little different from just video games 2026. And a short summary. You can go in here. Now you can go back to the short summary. But just to get started, you can just save and go to next step. And the organization that you've chosen, automatically yes. Read all the small print, of course, yes. Okay. Okay, so this is your continue with this proposal. So your proposal's made. Now you can go in and go out, you can delete it, you can start 10 of them if you want. And it takes you have to be able to you have to submit it at the end. So it's not just because you've created it doesn't mean it's automatically going to go in. You have to submit it so you can create them and delete them if as you go along. So this is because I am so going to pretend that it's our application. So there's just going to be us. We're not in a consortium with another company. You can partner with another company on this and then divide the costs out. But you don't have to. Okay, so we're just going to keep it nice and simple. And the main contact is me. If there are a few of you working on this, it's a good idea to add a contact because then they'll have another email address that if something happens or they're looking for more information, that a couple of you will get those emails and said, just in case somebody's on holidays. So add another contact in here, okay, just from your company. And so you can add a partner too here if you want to. But I think most of you it's probably a single application. So save and go to the next step. And then this page you are going to get very familiar with. Okay. This is the page that you're going to be looking at. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through this page. I'm going to go through each of these first, and then we're going to go through the templates. Okay. So here we have, so this is the test draft ID. In some place they look for this draft ID, the SEP number, and this is where you find it. Okay, so the SEP number is here. That always starts with SEB. And these are your templates. So you download, these are the templates that you need to upload here. Okay, so only use these, don't use the sample ones at the beginning. And again, all your contact details are here if you want to get in touch with the IT help desk, who are very good, by the way, and very calm, which is always very helpful in this process. So as we go through this, you'll see all the templates over here. And if you click I, you can get more information about the size that it should be, the file name, what should go as the file name, whether, what characters it allows or not. Little things like that can take up time at the end when you're trying to submit and it's not submitting. So these I buttons are very, very useful. So you got the part B, which is the application itself, creative dossier, which is your artistic material for the project. It's a detailed budget table, which is a template. The info on independence and ownership of control of the company, just to make sure that the company is majority European. Information on language of submission documents, which is, like it says, it's the language of the documents and the templates that are being submitted. Because if like say you've got one of the documents is in a different language, they need to be able to find an evaluator with that language. So that's why they need this information up front at the beginning. And then we got PDF with information about films works generated from the Creative Europe Media Database. That is from here. So I will go, when I'm going through the media database up here, I'll talk about this. You need the rights contracts for the projects, and you need the supporting documents of co-production, distribution, and financing. So these are all your LOIs that'll help with the with your application. It'll support it. It'll give us some credence that there is interest in your project and that it makes it more feasible. So these are important if you have those these letters here. So And then down here, what else have we got on this page? This is where you will upload your documents. Down here, you're back to participant list. If you want to add another contact or add a partner, validate. When you click validate, it brings up everything that needs to be done. So, you can click validate as you go through the process, and it'll tell you how many things that have left to be done because there's a few hidden bits here, which I'll go through today, but that you might miss as you're going through. But the validate button is very handy for that. And then you'll be very happy when you click that submit button down here on the right. Okay. So we'll go up here and we'll start off with edit forms. It's also known as part A, but they have edit forms here. So okay, so here we go. So there's four aspects, and this is for all the calls. Okay, so it's not just so a lot of this information is here for all the funding calls. So some of it you might look at it going, it's relevant to us, but it doesn't fit, but it needs to be done. Okay, so how to fill in forms, you can read more here if you do get stuck. So we'll go into general information. And this is fairly self-explanatory. Okay, so you got the proposal title. You have see the following characters. It tells you what characters not to put in. The language will automatically come up. The duration in months, 36. It actually comes up with 36. So they feel there's a lot of things that are they're making it easier every year, which is good. They add fixed keywords, so it could be game design, game development. You can add in another one if you want. Um, you don't have to, but if you want gaming industry, and then a free keywords as well. To add a few more keywords about your project, in particular, maybe about the scope of the project or the theme or anything that you feel would be important. And then you have the abstract here. So this abstract, like it says here, should provide the reader with a clear understanding of the objectives of the proposal. How will it be achieved? So basically, this is a summary of the project. So a short description of the project, and it should be short, but it can't have anything confidential in it because if you are awarded funding, this automatically goes public. Okay, because there's a results platform, and this is the bit that they will take and put in there as your short description of the project. So whatever you put in here, um, don't put anything confidential in it. So just be careful with that. Okay, so as we go down here, has this proposal or a very similar one? If you applied before and you didn't get funding and you want to and you're reapplying with the same project, that's absolutely fine. But they just want to see the project number here. It's not going to affect your chances. They just want to be able to track um how many like they want to be able to track it and how many projects are going back in for resubmission because it's really useful information for them. So declarations again. Okay, so just make sure that you read all of this clearly, okay, and tick them all. Okay, so as we go down here, so I think that's pretty much done once you have your test in, and then save form, right? It's not that, see, it's automatically bringing up um, what should be put in, but again, my very creative test. Okay. So we go back to the table of contents. Now, if you save an exit form, it'll bring you out completely. But if we go back to the table of contents, we go back, we're still in the edit forms part. Then we go on to participants. And as there's only one company at the beginning, the participants is just us, because that's the name of our company. So we show participants' details. And there's a few things that you need to put in here. So they have a lot of the information from when you registered for the pick. You would have to put in your address and all that information. So they have that information anyway, and all that information will be here. Um, but you have to put in other ones as well. So type of organization, video games developer. Okay, application, same as the address above. Oh, not applicable. It's a department name. Actually, we're going to take that off because chances are you're a small company, you don't have a specific department working on this application. So we'll just go not applicable. Okay, straight down here, the main contact person, department, same as organization name, same as the address. See, there's a lot of things here. So you just go up again, save form. It'll bring up if the actual official address and you can add it in or not. So it's very, very straightforward. Saved. We go back to the table of contents, right? So you're already down two areas. See, flying through it. Next one is the budget. Now, won't be able to fill this one in yet, but just to show you, this is the requested grant amount. Okay, so this is the amount that's going to be in that template budget, that you are going to have to add in here. It has to be the exact same amount. Okay, so at the end, then you will, when you have that budget completed, you will go back in here and you will fill that in. Okay, we go back here. And then the other one is other questions. And I love other questions because it's not applicable. So you're already done. So that is part A, right? So we'll exit, so we'll save and exit form. So we'll say, and then we're back here, right? So that one's done. Okay, so then we'll go into edit part C, right? This is great. This will take 2 minutes. Okay, so this is your KPIs, right, that they need. So they've simplified this, which is fantastic. So we got put in location. So your location is Ireland. Okay, done. Right. So that's your country in. Type of project, thematic area and types of activities. This is more statistical. They want to make sure that they want to show that the projects that are getting funded by Creative Europe is some way in connection with the EU agenda. So you can pick whichever one. It could be a Europe fit for the digital age. Could be supporting small business. You can pick as many or as few as you like. I'm just going to pick two because they're the most relevant ones. And then the type of project participants. If you are, as it's one, when it says participants, it's looking for the companies directly involved with. So if you are a consortium and you have two companies in here, um, then you're going to have to deal with two companies, but two participants, but you're just only one participant for us because we're only having one company. So micro enterprise is a company which employs fewer than 10 persons, right? Small enterprise is a fewer than 50 persons. Well, we are small, so I'm just going to put one here and then it's 0 and 0. Done, right? The next bit is only at reporting, so you just ignore this. So we go down to the bottom, we click Save Data. That's saved correctly. And then we are going to go out of this. And it's opened up an extra tab, so we can just go straight back in here, right? So we close that one out because that's completed. So we're already done. So we are flying through this. So we have that done, and then we have the part C done. So then what we're going to go through is the media database, right? So this is where you put in the information about the project, your track record project, that'll make you eligible to apply, and also the project that you are applying with. So we'll go into here. So here we go. The instructions are great. As years go on, that they make them more detailed, and yeah, the instructions are really, really good. So make sure that you do read the instructions. So you add one existing video game. Now you might have for the previous experience, right? So here you go, previous experience, and then for the grant request. They only look for one previous experience project here. If you've been really successful in the last few years and you've got three really strong projects, don't feel the need to add them in here. You just need one, okay? And you can talk about your other projects in the actual application form. But this is just for the just to make it eligible. It's just to tick the box to make your project eligible. So actually, we'll go up here and read this actually because this is good. So this is one video game or immersive content showing the recent experience of the applicant in producing international distributed works. Make sure that the work fulfills the requirements set out in the eligibility criteria of the call. And we'll go through that. The create and add the video game in development for which a grant is requested. And again, make sure it's eligible. And then once this has been created, once you've added in all this information, you download the PDF and then you go back to the existing application form and attach the PDF, right? So here, when you, even though there's no PDF here, when you click submit and it's happy that everything is in there, a button will appear and say, to download PDF. And then you come back here and you upload it here. Okay, and there is method to the madness because the reason for that is that all these information, the information that you put directly into the portal, Brussels can see, but the evaluators can't. So the evaluators need to be able to see the information is in the media database. The evaluator only gets these templates here. So for that reason, you have to download it and then re-upload it here. Okay, so there is a reason, even though you might think it's like, why are we doing this? But there is a reason. Okay, so we'll go back here. So we'll get started so we'll add a project in. This is going to be our previous experience. Okay, so you put in the original title, the country of origin. That don't worry about that. Brussels decides that. It comes down to the amount of whether they consider it to be European and what is the majority stakeholder what country is the majority stakeholder in the project. So don't worry about that. The type of work, if it's a video game or immersive content, the year of copyright. Okay, so as you know, this has to be since 2020, drawn a blank now, I think it's since 2023, it has to be copyrighted. Actually, maybe you can check that and just double check, but I'm pretty sure it's since 2023. So if it's before that, then it won't be eligible because you have to have a recent project in here. So it comes up as genres. What was the genre? If it was an action, there's role-playing game, it could be an action game, whatever it is, an adventure game. You target, and you can pick more than one. Target audience, it gives you the PEGI here. So whichever it is, you put it in. These aren't necessary because there's no asterisk. But if you have the information, put it in. Then you put in a synopsis of the project and then the technical information. Was it online, offline, split screen? Was it, single player, multiplayer? What platform was it? So they are looking for wherever it was on, the production language as well. We're going to stick in English. Again, localization language, and then the delivery media, right? So whether it was cloud location based or download or web browser, whatever it is. Now, here it is important that you understand. So you are going to see this box a few times, what the development phase is. And this is fairly concrete. So make sure that you read this and that you are aware of this, but for the project that has already been that your track record project and the project that you're putting in. So development phase is understood as the phase starting from the first idea until the production of the first playable prototype or first trial version, whichever comes first. Okay, production is understood as phase starting from the testing and debugging of the first playable prototype or trial version until the end of production of the gold master or equivalent. Okay, so just make sure that that your projects do respect this. You put in the total development budget of the project, and then the total production budget. Okay, and then you put in the cast and the crew. Again, we're still talking about the project that has already the track record project here. So you put in your director, your project lead. You can edit this. It comes up. The role, the choose options. I just want to make sure that you can see all this. So so it has here the gender, it has a nationality as well, and first name, last name. Okay. And then the same with the author. So you have to have those two in anyway. And then you can add another one, right? So you can add another role here. So whether it's game designer, creative director, sound, storyboard artists, whatever you want, if you have those names, you can put them in there. Okay, now with production structure and financing, you add this in, and this is actually a lot more straightforward than you'd think because they're just looking for the producer. They're just looking for whether the producer or the co-producer brought the funding to the table for the project. So if it's just your project and you raised all the funding from various different sources, it all comes under you. And so you put your name in here, you put your country in here, you put your share in here, which will probably be 100%, and then the budget that you brought to the table. Okay. So that is how they will look at whether what country of origin a project is from. So they're not looking for all the individual publishers and all the individual investors. They're just looking for the actual production company and who brought the funding to the table. Down here, then, in order to be eligible, it must be have been commercially distributed, and this is so here you add in your distribution. Okay, so the company, the platform it was on, the release date, and make sure you have that, and then the store URL. Make sure you have some kind. They're not looking. You don't have to upload the proof, and they should be able to find this fairly easily that it does match up with what you're saying. But just make sure because if they can't find it, they will come looking for proof afterwards. So just make sure that whatever date you say that you have a screenshot or you have something that shows that it was actually released on that date. Okay. There we go. So that is the previous experience. So you save as draft. It's going to say that I don't have another test. Fierce creative. Okay. Okay, so that is a draft. You can go back in and edit it. Okay. Then we go into the for grants requests. We add the okay, so we add this project in. So this is the project that you're actually going to be looking for funding for. Okay, again, you put in the title, you put in the type of work, the genre, the audience. Start putting these in anyway. So the website, the IGTB link, ISAN if you have them. It's okay if you don't have them. And they will be looking for an ISAN link at the end of the project anyway, or an IGTB link like an identifier for your project. But if you don't have one now, that's fine. Then a synopsis of the project. Then they look for technical information. Again, like last time, single player, multiplayer, platform, production languages, localization language, delivery media, all fairly straightforward. If you know your project, it's just a matter of just putting this down. So it's, you won't have to think about it if you're pretty sure about this. Total development cost and total production budget as well has to go in here. You might want to fill that in after you're finished your budget, which is it's a bit of a tricky template, but we'll go through that. Start date of development, pre-production, and this can start from the date of submission, right? So whenever you apply, whenever you hit submission for this application, that is the date that the development can start, even though the development is happening up to now, but the costs that you can get covered under this fund can start from then. So then we got the late delivery of the prototype and then date of production as well, right? So just make sure that it must be later than the date of delivery of the prototype. And the start date of production must be at least 10 months between the deadline date and the date of, so you have to leave at least 10 months because this is for development, it's not for production. And I know in video games that can be a bit tricky, but this very specifically is for development. So there has to be 10 months. So you are talking about you have to put in, so if the deadline is the 11th of February, then start date of production will be the 11th of December. And do not put in any earlier than the 11th of December. because it'll immediately make your project ineligible. So just be very careful on that. If you have to double check anything, this is the one you double check and triple check and quadruple check. Okay, so we got the ownership of rights. So you have to add the rights in. So you don't have to put the proof of the previous project in, but you have to put the rights in, the rights for this project that you're applying with. So the origin of the work. If it's an original work, or if it's an adaptation. Okay, if it's an original work, you choose the type of option that you have with the author. Usually, if this is coming from your own self and or an employee of your company, usually it's a unilateral declaration of transfer of rights. Okay, so the company itself has to own the rights. So just make sure that it's legally binded or legally bound and that this is yeah, but usually that's the one that would be most common. Start date of the ownership, end date of the ownership, and the date of signature of the agreement. You are uploading this agreement, so make sure that the dates match. Here you put in the cast and crew. So again, they're looking for these two at least. You have to put in the director and you have to put in the creator or the writer or the author. And then after that, you put in you have a choice of all the different areas that you can put in then. And if you have heads of development or heads of like, if you have a production designer, if you have a composer, if you have a script editor, if whoever you have on staff, add them in. Okay. And then put the first name, last name, gender, and then nationality as well. A mixture of nationalities always works. Especially if they're from different European countries, it works. But again, it doesn't have to be at all. It's because this is your project. But if you do have people who are of different nationalities working on your project, you can put them in here. So that is the project itself. And then we have the estimated production structure and financing. So again, it's the producer or the co-producer. So you put the company name in, you put the country, and you put your. So if this is just your project, put your own company name, your own country, and the language that you're working in. Okay. So that is the media database. Fairly straightforward. Okay. So again, you will press save as draft. Once you're happy, it won't let you submit until everything is filled out, right? So when you click submit, then that PDF will come up and then you upload it. So that's fine. We go back to edit dossier. So that's the media database. It opened itself up in another tab. So we'll go back here. And once you download it, then you upload it here.
Orla, just to flag, there's a question in the chat there from the previous
Oh,
section.
perfect. Thank you. For interactive immersive work, the release date is more to do with the premiere of the work rather than the publication on the platform. Is that okay as the date of release? Yes, it is. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, and just make sure that you have that date printed out for yourself, hid away in a safe. That because if they can't find it themselves online, they will come looking for it. So yeah, so that's absolutely fine. Okay. So that is all those technical bits. So hopefully you're able to fill that out as we're going along. And then we're getting into the fun stuff now. So what we'll do is before we go, we've got a little bit of time more before we head for a break. So we'll download the Part B templates, right? So you download them, it'll go straight in to and I'm going to just change my sharing. So you'll see my desktop. Okay. So that downloaded into my downloads folder as templates. And then this is your templates here. Okay. So we'll go through these. The templates are, you have to use these templates. Don't make up your own. You have to use these ones. They also, in here, right? So we have the Part B. okay, which is this one here. So this is your document with all the questions on it that you will go through all the award criteria and the award criteria matches with the questions. And so this is where you're filling in all your information. It comes into your templates as an RTF, only as an RTF because of the way it can't come in as a Word document. Don't work off it as an RTF. It's it doesn't work properly. So you open with Word and then you save as Word. Sometimes you can forget to save as Word, but you save it as Word and then you open this. Okay. So this is your document here. I'm not going to go through that yet. We will talk about that after the break, I think. Okay, so then we got the budget table here, so that this is the actual budget that you upload here. Don't use your own budget. You will get your own budget and then you fit it into this budget table. We'll go through it. It's not the easiest in the world, but you just do the best you can with it. Then there's a template of information, independence and ownership and control, which is here. And then we got the info and language of submission documents, which is here. So we'll go through the easy ones first. I think we'll go through the template info on languages or language of submission documents. Okay. So this is an Excel and it's fairly straightforward. You put in your proposal acronym that you named it at the beginning, your proposal number, which is your SEP number here. The coordinator legal name, which is your legal name, that's the name of the company, the PIC number, the country, and then the languages of the application, annexes and support documents. So here it says treatment. Okay, so it depends what. So this is, so the contract, right? So this is everything that you're uploading. So if the contract is in English, you will literally just put in EN. Okay. Now most of these things would be EN. So, but if your teaser is in French, for whatever reason, you just put in French. Okay. Script again. So your script, director's notes, your contracts, any LOIs you have, any like other document names. So if you have yeah, not necessarily you mightn't have anything, but if you have it might be something in your creative material that you have, like a Bible or a mood board or whatever it is, you can add this in here and then just put the language in. And that's it. Okay. So it says do not change the structure of the file, don't add sheets to it. It's fairly straightforward. They don't want you to recreate it, they just want this information and they just need it on a separate documents to make it easier for them, so they have the information before evaluators get the projects. Okay, so that's it. So you fill that out and you upload it here, where here, right? And it tells you whether it should be uploaded as an XLS or a PDF or whatever. So it does tell you now. It also, just be careful because it'll automatically download there's a specific file name. So you can leave that file name. You can add your own project in to the into the file name here. Just be careful about the the characters that you use. Okay, so it does say here which characters are allowed to use, but sometimes the names of the files are you have to change them before you can upload them. So yeah, makes no sense, but there you go. So okay, so that's that one. So we'll get rid of you. We'll bring you down here just in case anybody has a question on that. Then we are going into the ownership, independence and ownership and control. So here again, loads of instructions and read them. They're very straightforward. They're very practical. They're just, yeah, read the instructions. You can save yourself a lot of hassle and confusion if you go through the instructions. So this is provide the full ownership and structure of all the companies involved, right? So we have the project name here. We have that SEP project ID number again, which is here. We have the name of the applicant, and then if you are partnering with one, two, three, four, if you're partnering with 10 other companies, you can put them all in here. But thinking it's only going to be yourselves. So you just need to fill in your name here, or name of the company here. Okay, coordinator is company. So this is the full ownership structure. If you have more than 10 companies, you have to add an additional role, but it's okay. I think you'll be all right with that. Don't move or rename sheets. It has to remain the same. Okay, so that's the instructions. Then we go into coordinator. All right, so we'll just load this up a little bit. So in the coordinator, we have the name of the shareholder. So if you have, say there's three of you, okay? Um, okay, I'm just gonna go Paul, Jane, and Stuart. Random. Okay. Right. Full name, obviously, not just first names. Nationality of them. Whoops, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Where is Ireland? Doesn't have to be Ireland. We'll go German. We try German? Yeah, we'll go German. Okay, Paul's from Germany. And then we have Jane's from Ireland. And then we'll do and Stuart's from Canada. Okay. Status of the shareholder. Are you a physical person or a legal person? Physical person means human being. Okay, an actual physical person. A legal person is not a solicitor, it's not a lawyer. A legal person is a company. Okay, so that's a lot of confusion comes down to this, but a legal person is a company and not a solicitor. Okay, so Paul is a physical person, right? So I just see over here goes black. So what happens is, and I'm going to put in physical person, and then uh, games come just to make things really confusing. Um, and they're from Albania, and they are a company. Okay, so main activity is legal person. Um, main activity if a legal person, right? So if you're a company, right? So this leave blank, right? So you don't need to know. So if you're just a person, you're a person. So you just put in the number of shares you have and the shareholding. Okay, so it's fine for here. If you're a company, I see this is also, we'll go through that column now in a minute. Um, it has to show what you have published company. Okay, so you have a publisher in the number of shares of the company has in the shareholding. But if the listed shareholder is a legal person or a company, please describe the full chain of shareholders until the level of nationals, until the level of nationals. So until it goes back down to the physical person. And they have to show that the physical person are European, majority European. Okay, so you have to do this right down to every person who actually has a share in the company. You have to put their nationality down, and they calculate from that the majority of the shareholding is European. Okay, so if you've got a very small company and there's only three of you in it, grand. But if you have a more complicated and there is a company involved, you need to get those shareholders of that company and put them in, and hopefully that company, those shareholders are European. Okay, and if there's a company shareholder of that company, then it has. So this can be a headache for some companies, but hopefully not for yours. Okay, so that is the oh, oh yeah, okay, right. So you don't change that. So I'm going to put down 50 and then 50, or actually, let's see, 40 and then 10. No, God, even my maths isn't good today. Right. And as there you go. Okay, so there's 100%. So just make sure that you always get 100%. Okay. So that is that. So once you save that, and once you're happy, that just make sure that the European, because you will be made ineligible if it's over 50% from outside of Europe. And when I say Europe, it's Creative Europe participating countries. Okay. So we'll bring that down. We'll save that and we'll upload that to here. Info on independence and ownership and control. Okay. So what have we got here so far? So we've got done already. So we have one of these three. We have the info and independence and control. We have the information on language of submission documents. We have the PDF from the media database. We have the rights contracts that you're happy with, that the dates are all there and they're signed. Make sure they're signed. That goes up here. And I've clicked in that. See, it'll only accept it wants a PDF. Okay, so it'll tell you exactly what it wants. And then supporting documents. So this is any LOIs. Okay. So next we have Part B and Creative Europe, our Creative Dossier and the detailed budget table. The Creative Dossier is your artistic material. Okay, this is where you put in, um, the be good with the images. I mean, we've talked about this in the previous info session. Like, really put your best foot forward here. Make sure you have the worlds of the game, of the world of the characters, um, the sound, any music, and I'm just looking. Is there a template for the rights attachment? There is not a template for the rights document. We don't have a template for the rights document. It I could try and put you in touch. So give me a shout afterwards. You can send us an email and see if I can put you in the general direction. But if that, I would say go to Immert. We'll be able to help you there. Um, because they would, yeah, Immert will be able to help you there with any templates or any information that you need there with regards to that side of it, because we don't have templates. Um, because every project is different, and then it comes, if it's wrong, then it'll come back on us, and it's like yeah, this is on your back, unfortunately. But Emmert would be great, and I know that Colin there and the rest of the gang would be more than happy to help you with this. Okay. Okay, so we got, yeah, creative dossier. Be careful with excuse me. Be careful with using AI in the creative dossier, or generated images, because if they do spot that, like, be aware that there are your peers who are going to be evaluating this document, or your application from across Europe. And if they see something, it's like, well, if you're using a lot of, definitely use you to help you, that's fine. But when it comes to images, just be careful, because if they feel like, okay, well, if that's what the game is going to look like, and they can't do that themselves, and they're looking for AI, so just be careful. Just be careful with that. Okay. But the more authentic the images are, the more authentic the application is, the better. Okay, especially in this day and age. So it definitely comes to the fore. So that's your Creative Dossier. And again, it's a PDF. So this might be difficult. It's a 10 megabyte. So all of them, they all have, yes, there are certain parameters within each attachment, or each template attachment. But just be careful here. This is a 10 megabyte, and that sometimes can be difficult. I know, with a lot of images, so just be careful with that. Okay. And gameplay and everything. That's, you put everything into that creative dossier, right? So this is all your artistic material. So that's that one. So now we're down to the fun bit. So we got part B proposal, and we got the budget template. Okay. So is there any other questions on any of that before we go forward? No, we're good. Okay. What I might do now is actually take a quick break then. So I'm going to pause the um, recording. Okay, so now we are going into the application form. So I will share my screen again. And okay. So this one, now we will go through the actual application stuff. There's an application on the budget. Um, what to go through first? What do you think? I think we will go through the application first. Okay. So this is the application that you've opened. This is the part B that you've opened here. You've downloaded it here. It's going to go up here. It's 70 pages, maximum file 10 megabytes. Okay, so it's 70 pages is the max that you can put in, which is fine. But just to let you know, it's already 24 pages in here already. Okay, so but I think with one project that won't be an issue. Again, the instructions are great. So when you go through it, it says, the minimum font size is Arial 9 points, because when people hit the 70 pages, especially in a call document like Slate, they try and make it smaller and smaller and smaller. So the minimum font is 9 points. Um, don't, yeah, you can delete instructions, but don't delete them if they're to do with your call. So just be very careful when you delete things to make more room, because you could delete one of your own questions and then you won't get points for the questions. So just be careful. And the document is tagged. So be careful not to delete the tags, right? They're needed for the processing. So the tags, as we go down here, are these things, okay? These random looking things. So don't delete any of these. I don't know how they work, but all I know is that we don't delete them. Okay, that's all you need to know too. So this is the application form for any of you who haven't done this before. Um, it takes a bit to get your head around, because it's one application form for all the Creative Europe calls. Okay, so as we go down, or most of them anyway. So as we go down here, yes, it's all broken down. So you put your project name here, your acronym, the coordinator contact, which will be yourselves. In the header here, you put in the call identifier and call name. And I'll actually, you can do that while we're here. The call identifier is this, okay, which is, so you literally copy and paste this in. Let's see if I can do that now. Um, here we go. And the call name is that's not going to work. There we go. There we go. Assassination. And then the call name is the video games. And the easiest way to get the call name is if you open a document that you are going to know so well, which is the call document, and go straight to the top here. Here it is here. See, video games and immersive content development, right? So that's the call. See, I was told you I was going to go through every little aspect of this. So, okay, right? That's what you put in there. Okay. So, and that is on every page now. Okay. So you can do that now. So this, as we go down, you will see that every call is in here. So you have to find your own questions. Okay. So as we go here, so see abstract. So the abstract that you put in, remember that thing where you don't put anything confidential in, that is here. Okay. So you don't need to put anything in here, because um, it'll automatically come up here. Okay. So you don't have to add something in here. But as we go down through it, so take your time with this first before you start filling it in, right? This is, you see, you have to look here, which, here we go. There's our call, video games and immersive content development, right? So this is our first question. It says there for European slate and mini slate development, so that's not for us. So what I do is, right, you bold it, okay? So at least it's there. Now you can delete all of this, because it's not to do with you, but I'm a little fearful about doing that. So until you're completely certain, you can just gray it out. Okay, so it's not highlighted. Okay, so you just focus on the question that's highlighted. Okay. And then you can go back in and delete it once you're sure that you have the right one. So the first one here is provide a presentation of the applicant company and partners if you have partners, their management activities, present position in the national and European markets, and its editorial line in terms of development and production. This is where you sell yourselves. This is where you talk about your company, your passion for games, your passion for your projects, what type of projects you want to do and why. You will also talk about your management structure, who makes up your company. Um, where are you based? What experience have you got? What brought you all together? Your activities, the type of games you do, why. And then the present position in the national and European markets. Are you starting out? Well, where did you get your expertise before? If it's a new company, is that well, you obviously have some kind of track record because you have to have that previous game. So you're already up there. Okay, so but then whereabouts are you in the market? Have you had games um previously produced and distributed other than that one? You know, how many have you won awards? They love awards. Have you won awards? So things like that put in to this part of it. Where you see yourself, do you go to the international markets? Have you worked on an international base before? What publishers do you work with? So it's talk about the history of your company up to now, where you are now. Okay, so really sell yourselves. I know for Irish people that can be difficult, but do you really have to sell yourself here? So this is where you insert text, and this is where you add it in. So as we go through it, and you as we go through the whole document, it's the same thing. You have to go looking for your own, and here it is here. Okay, so we'll put that in, and before we start reading it, we'll just get everything else out. Okay, so we'll gray it all out because it's so much easier to read than if it's the only thing you see. So describe the originality and creativity of the concept of the project compared to the existing work out there, including originality of the story. So what makes yours different? What's the USP? And when we go back to that Bible, like I said here, actually, sorry, I'll get some of this. So this, your call for the proposals, as I'm sure you know, has the award criteria in it. So as we go down, have this open beside you when we're going through. Now, I know we went through this already in the info session, so I won't go through it too much, but make sure you have this open because there are specific questions or award criteria that are aligned directly with these questions. Okay, so this one here, describe the originality and creativity of the concept of the project. So here, see, originality and creativity of the concept against existing work, including originality of the story. Okay, now that for this as well, they're also going to look at um, they're going to have your creative dossier open as well. But most of the points will go directly to this question. But that's 10 points already, just for this one. As we go down through it, then we have European added value, which is this one here. And I'll do my thing because it is very distracting when you have the other questions screaming out at you. So here, describe the innovative aspects of the submitted project, technique, content, gameplay, our level of immersion and interactivity, visual graphic approach, etc. Right over here is level of innovation. Now, see here, there's more information in the award criteria than here. So this is, offer proposing cutting edge technique and content, such as use of, latest technologies and platforms, innovation and gameplay, innovative use of cinematography and viewing. Answer this here. Okay, so make sure that you answer all of this. Okay, what is the innovation? There are points going to every single word in this. So just make sure that you answer all of it to make sure that you can acquire all of this, 15 points. And 15 points is a lot, right? So really what makes your project different? What new techniques are you using? Are there any other innovative aspects of your game? Is it gameplay that you don't usually see in this particular genre that you're doing? Is it what's your graphic approach? Who you're working with? Is it a particular type of animation that you're doing that hasn't been seen before in games or whatever it is, and it doesn't you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but it's something like what is it that are going to make people, want to play your game. Okay, and it's about gameplay as well. It's not just about the way it looks or the way it sounds. It's the actual gameplay as well. So really, so this is where you can go into details about this, and I'm sure you all have this in your head or on a page. So, but yeah, but go into in detail here. Um, so then environment and sustainability. So every call has this. Um, these questions, and these questions are 5 points, as we've said before. So your the strategies to ensure a more sustainable and environmentally respectful industry, you're right here, and then the strategies to ensure gender balance, inclusion, diversity, and representative, either in the project or content or in the way of managing the activity. So, with regards to the sustainable, environmentally respectful industry, it's about the actual, is it the, you know, even how you download what way is it, is it a physical game, is it, even at that point, where, how's it going to be played, what's it played on, is that environmentally friendly, what company are you aligning with, that you feel like has the environment as sustainability as its heart. If this is something that is very close to your heart, I mean, talk about it in detail, and talk about it in the first question too, about how this aspect is really important to you. Like, really, if you are passionate about any of this, put it on the page. Okay. You talk about the training that your staff have. Anything that, policies of the organization. If you have a particular consultant that you are working with for this, in games, what training have you got? So anything like that here. Now, it's not to do with the content. So if your game is about saving the rainforest, that's not going to give you any points here. Okay. It will if it's original and they like the concept of it, but for this question in particular, you're not going to get any extra points for that. Whereas in the next one, this is the strategies to ensure gender balance, inclusion, diversity, and representativeness, either in the project content or in the way of managing the activity. So if your project is about, strengthening female leadership, or if characters have a disability, that it's representativeness of certain community, put that in here. But it is also about how you are dealing with this in terms of the company, about your team, and that's where the nationality of the team can come into play as well. So if you have a broad range, that they're not all from Dublin, you have a broad range of nationalities, that can lead to the diversity, help with the diversity of the project. So, because like when we talk about diversity, we talk about everything. So it's not just gender balance, not just gender balance at all. That is very important, though. I know, particularly in video games, it is. So that is very important, but this is also about inclusion, diversity, your accessibility of gameplay. This is, try and think of, is it, so, are are you helping with, new talent, bringing new talent up, emerging talent for your company? Are they from socioeconomic backgrounds? Like, what is it? It could be ethnicities. It could be, the nationalities of the characters. So all of that can add in, can come to play here. So really think about your project, and it might be things that you just are so obvious because you worked in it for so long, but put it down on the page. Really think about what you do in that area, because it is 5 points, which can get you over the line. So as we go down here, so the next one then, we have the quality, which is, and it's right up here at the front. Now this is a long one. So, and then the long ones, it's even more important to just make sure that you deal with every single word. Okay. So the concept of methodology. So as we go down here in the award criteria, so we've dealt with all of this. We have the quality of the gameplay, and and it's going to come in here into play here with this one here at 15 points. So describe the approach to storytelling, the visual approach. Well, this is the storytelling here, the visual approach, and what is foreseen in terms of graphic and sound design, all here, and accessibility measures for users with disability and other impairments here. Now they've see the way they've laid it out very nicely here. Okay, so it's not just one paragraph like up here. For non-immersive video games, describe gameplay, how gameplay and storytelling would be integrated, and the level of character and design, right? Originality of gameplay, quality, integration, and quality of the level and character design. And then for interactive immersive video games and experience, describe the approach to the immersive experience and interactivity. 11 and quality of interactivity. They want all of these, and they've laid it out nicely in the call document. You have to deal with all. There are points going to all of these things. Like there are 25 points here just for this. So you really need this is this is all the other aspects of your game. Um, so yeah, so make sure you have all of that um in here. Okay. And you don't need me to go through all this. I mean, it's there. Okay. It's fairly self-explanatory here. But just make sure you deal with it all and go into detail with it. They like detail. Um, Not fluff now, but detail, proper detail that actually is realistic and makes sense and is directly linked to your project. Okay. So down here, then we have format is the format. I don't see here. Oh, look, it's not applicable. See this NA? So not applicable for video games, right? So you have a choice. You could delete this, or you could just put it all in gray, which I like. Okay, go. The potential is also not applicable. Okay, it's up here. So we put it all in gray. And we put it in gray just to make sure that just in case you so you can go over it again and again, just to make sure. Okay. So that's potential here. Cost effectiveness and financial management is is important here, right? So you demonstrate the cost effectiveness of your action and explain how the estimated budget is conceived in the most economical way. And please also explain your co-financing strategy. Okay. So you have to fill this in, and this is directly linked with the budget as well as your financial strategy. All right, so yeah, so that there is that very strong thinking behind it. You know, what is the cost effectiveness? You know, how are you going to make money back on this? Are you charging for the game? Is there in-game, purchases? What is your financial plan for your game, and how is it the most cost effective for the project? And we are talking about the development project, but it is good to see the long run as well, long term as well. Risk management, put in risks, don't go past 10. Between 7 and 10 is a good figure, and really think about, a risk could be you know think about it, and they want to see that you're aware of the weaknesses of your project. So is it expensive? That could be one. Say one of your funders might pull out, one of your publishers might pull out. What is there? Are your creative teams scattered all over the world? And if they are, well, that could be a risk. Or if not, if it's all online. So think about what the risk is. There could be a risk. You could be really ambitious in terms of the gameplay, and that could be a risk. Technologically, technically, wise, so maybe that's a risk. But I would put in around 7, but definitely don't go more than 10. Down here, then we got partnership. Okay, so here. This is highlighted. So in the case of the project is submitted by a consortium, describe the overall distribution of roles and responsibilities between the partners and between the partners in the project. And if it's not, um, talk about the fact that, but answer it. Okay, just make sure, like, talk about the fact that this is just you. And I would talk about, a certain amount, a small paragraph on the actual, or a small piece on your breakdown of the roles within the project, um, instead of just leaving it blank. Okay. Project team, self-explanatory. Even if you don't have anybody, if it's not certain, if it's TBC, put in TBC, right? But definitely put in the main staff, in the project, and any other heads of departments that are part of it. So with development here, they are looking for a development schedule. So this would be okay. So this is adequacy of the development strategy. right? Adequacy of development plan, schedule, development budget, and foreseeing partnerships and needs of the project, right? So they are looking for the stage. It's sort of a two-pronged question, this. So they're looking for the stage where it's at, right? And what you need to put into it to get it to where you want it to be. And then they're looking for a plan. They're looking for a schedule. Go month by month. And I know it's 36, so if you want to go quarter by quarter, that's fine. But try and make it as clear as possible. And this isn't just about the the creative side of it. This is about where are you finding your publishers? Are you going to Gamescom? Where are you, what where are you, are you traveling to different markets that you're going to be meeting them? So this is what months they fall in, because again, the evaluators more than likely are going to be game developers as well. So they will be able to see that, okay, well, this actually makes sense that you have a very realistic time frame, that you're going to the right places, that you're talking to the right publishers, so it's so yeah, so to make sure the more detailed you are here, the better. They also look for a breakdown of development budget. Okay, why don't I just read it? Wouldn't that be easier? Okay, so describe the stage at which the project is submitted and identify its needs. Then describe the envisaged activities during the development of the project, the schedule until the start of production, including script writing, script editing, research work, choice of director, casting, locations, schedule, start of filming, etc. Production, and the breakdown of the development budget. Okay, now you are adding a budget in. Um, so that's going to be self-explanatory in the actual budget itself. So they will be looking at the budget while they're reading this as well. So then the time schedule must indicate the key dates and especially start dates of the production phase, the date of delivery of the first prototype. So that's it. So with the finance and strategy, then as we go down, um, here we go, the adequacy of the finance and strategy. So that's 10 points. So development strategy is 10 points, finance and strategy is 10 points, and feasibility potential of the project. So the adequacy of the finance and strategy compared to the estimated production costs in terms of awareness of suitable potential financial partners, and the experience or ability of the applicant to secure the necessary co-financing, potential to attract distributors or publishers, and sales potential and revenue streams. So you go into detail here and really, so again, it's another two-prong question. First one is, how are you going to finance the development of it? Yes, the majority is going to come from Creative Europe, but where's the other 30% going to come from? Okay. And then with the production of the submitted project, they want you to draft a preliminary finance plan. So they want you to be ambitious but realistic. Okay. So you put in a finance plan, talk about the main options, suitable potential partners at national and European or international level, as well as the initial financial elements already in place or to be confirmed. They're like plan Bs when it comes to finance plan. Okay, especially because they want to see you're going to be ambitious, but they also want to see that you're realistic. So you can put your ideal scenario, which could happen. It's not complete pie in the sky. You put that there, but then you also have a plan B just in case the first one doesn't turn out. So that plan A and plan B is important for them to see, because then you're aware of your weaknesses. Then they want you to see that you are aware that you know your ideal plan mightn't work out, but you're going to go on this route instead. So do have a couple of scenarios in here, and then here you go. And for video games, see, almost missed that. For video games, also describe how the project will generate revenues and provide a sales estimate as well. Very important, okay, that you talk about your financial plan. Okay, now we're down to dissemination, communication. Here we go. Describe the intended marketing strategy. So as we go down here, right? So the marketing strategy is here. And here it reads, allowing to reach audiences in an early stage. This includes definition of USPs, target audience and markets, innovative marketing and audience engagement tools, promotional activities. This is really about how you're going to market it at an early stage. How are you going to get, if you're doing online, like and I think with video games, it's probably, it's more natural than film, but I could be wrong. So it's how you're going to target your audience at that early stage while you're going through development. Is there anything that you're drip feeding your fans with? So yeah, that's what you would go through here, and that's 10 points. And then with distribution, with distribution, then is the planned distribution strategy, taking into account choice platform and media, identified target audience, and the distribution partners already in place or envisaged. It's all here. Um, Describe the potential transnational appeal of the project based on the subject and type of game or experience, and the game's potential to cross borders based on the experience and diversity of the creative team, the story, characters, or intended cast, and the localization strategy. Um, this one here is important. So don't just gloss over this. It's like really what is it about your game that's going to cross over into other countries? Maybe you have experience in those other countries. You've done some research that this game will work really well there, or the director has a game that went really, really well over in that country in particular, so they already have traction over there. And talk about the creative team, what have the creative team worked on that will help to get your game out there. Okay. Okay, so as we go down here, now as you can see here, this is the end of the award criteria. So is it here? No, so the impact is not applicable as well. So then you got the work plan. Okay, so that's the points, right? So they're the evaluation, and that's why it's important to go through all of these little bits in the portal quickly so you can spend the time on this document. Okay. So with regards to the work plan, the work packages, it's like I said, it's the same for this is the application form for every single Creative Europe call, or all the media ones anyway here. So with this is so they all have work packages and they all have work plans that you have to put in. But every call is different. So they look for different things from different calls. Okay, so this is where you have to go back to the call document because it tells you exactly what they want, right? So it does say milestones and deliverables. They don't want milestones. So you don't need to give them milestones. Okay. Right? So they are the control points, but it just adds an extra layer to the actual contracting and to the continuing uh, uh, monitoring of that's the word monitoring of the project when you do contract. There will be a continuing monitoring as during those 36 months. So yeah, so the milestones just adds another bit to it. So you don't need milestones. But you do need work plans and you do or work packages and you do need deliverables. Okay. So these are your work packages. Okay, so they have one template here, which you have to multiply by 3 times because they are looking for 3 work packages. The first one is artistic development. Okay, the narrative part, characters, graphic approach, mandatory, right? So this is just about the artistic development of it. Okay, so you have the duration is going to be, right? So I'm going to you just copy and paste. Don't start coming up with your own fancy names for this. Just copy and paste it in because that's what they're looking for. Give them what they want. Okay, the duration, the artistic development of this is going to go from month 1. The M is month, and it's giving you 36 months. So do you know what? It's going to take 3 years to develop this in my head. So the artistic development is going to take that long. Or maybe, you know what, maybe yeah, no, I think it will. I'm going to put in 36. The beneficiary is your name, okay? Your company name, okay? Because I'm assuming now that you guys um, if this is one company that is working, it's not a consortium, okay? This is just your company. If you have 2 or more companies working on this together, you will decide who take, like, is there one company that is focusing on the technical development? Is there one company is focusing on the artistic development? Because then it'll be up to them to deliver that work package. Okay. You put in the objectives, which is the artistic development of the project, very short. Then you put in your tasks. And with this, it gives you what they're looking for. You know, they will be looking for the script or the dialogue. They would be looking for the characters. They would be looking for the graphic approach, right? So this is purely for the artistic science. So this would be, the music, the sound. So whatever the task name is, you put in the description. Participants is, again, we're just talking about the one company, right? If we're talking about one company, it's your company. The name is not the person, is not the script writer. It is your company, the whole way down. Okay. The role, because it's just you're the coordinator, so it's COO. If you have a partner company, it's beneficiary. It would be handy if it said partner, but it doesn't. So it says beneficiary. Okay, so beneficiary, Ben, is your partner. Okay, if you have a partner, their name is Ben. In-kind contributions and subcontracting. Oh, okay, just put no the whole way down. Everything that with subcontracting in this, in all of our in the calls, a lot of it we don't do subcontract because a lot of it would be especially when it comes to development because it would be a service. It's like if there is casting, say, and you're getting cast for your characters and you're working with them, you have to agree on this. You're not handing over a chunk of your funding over to them to manage, right? So it's a service that they are providing you, so it's not subcontracting. Okay, and they don't like in-kind contributions anyway, so it's no the whole way down. Simple. Okay, milestones we're ignoring. Okay, no milestones needed. Deliverables, let's see what deliverables. So for deliverables, right, this is what they want. Okay, now you can add more if you want. You don't need to. Okay, you just do this. So don't make life difficult for yourself. Just put in what they look for. They are looking for work package one. See this? So they want deliverables for work package one. You've got 1, 2, 3 deliverables for work package one. So I'm going to put in. So the first deliverable is update, create, and develop. Okay. So you're not putting in, well, the fifth version of the Bible. It's like, no, they're just looking for the updated character development. Because if you add in a deliverable calling it the fifth version of it, they will look for the fifth version. And if you don't have the fifth version, then you can't upload that deliverable. So they're making it easy for it. They understand development. So they don't want to tie you into something that you can't deliver because it's development. So this is updated creative development. Lead beneficiary is going to be, you guessed it, your company. Okay, come if I could spell your company. The type, right? Now this is important. Okay. If you put in, well, it's not any of this. Okay, it's not a data set, it's not ethics security, it's not a website, it's not patent filings, it's not a pilot or a prototype. It's not. This is going to be a report. Okay. So it's going to be a document and it's going to be a report. Okay, so you can put that the whole way down. For the dissemination level, you have to be careful here. If you put in public, they will do what you say and they will make it public. Okay. If you put in classified, chances are they won't be able to read it. Okay, the evaluators won't be able to read it because you said it was classified. Or not the evaluators, but at the end, this is so these are deliverables that are going to be delivered at the end of your project, right? Or during the project once you get awarded. Okay, but this is the plan for it if you do get awarded. So don't put in classified, don't put in public, you put in sensitive. So everything put in as sensitive and everything put in as report. Due date and description is left. The due date is so the end of the whole action is 36 months. So you could put all the deliverables in for 36 months, but they don't want that. They want to be able to track it with you. Okay. So if you are completely finished with your artistic creative development early, you put it in. If you're happy that it would go in on month 24 because then you want to focus on the financing. Um, or whatever, then you put it in. But I think with this, you might be updating the whole way through. So I would put in, you can put in as months 36. Okay. The description, the format would be it's English, it's a PDF, EM, it's EN, it's a PDF and it's description of the updated creative development. I would literally add that in. Okay. You don't need to rewrite the script here. You just need to put in what they're looking for. You don't need to add other things in because it'll just be a headache for you, it'll be a headache for them. So just put it in. So just add in what they want. So then they're looking for declaration of independence and ownership. So the reason why that is in is that document. Remember that Excel that we just filled in? That, and I'll bring it up again. Where is it? It is this one here. What they have noticed has happened with projects is that ownership has changed. Ownership of the company that received funding has changed throughout the duration of the action. Okay, so if you get another shareholder in a year's time, that could make you not European. Okay, but you're still in the middle of the project, but that could make you ineligible halfway through the actual working of the project. So that's why they're looking at the end, they are looking for an updated declaration of independence and ownership to make sure that you're still eligible as a company to have this funding. Okay, they've been burned in the past. So that's why this has appeared this year. Okay, so as we go through, right, so this is so and or two, and if your key crew or casting can be in one and or two. Okay, so you can put the key crew in the first one. I would say you could also put it in your second one. Okay, so it would make sense. The crew for the and that's literally just an update of the list and who's working on it. Very easy. Okay, it's something that you're going to have anyway. All of these are things that you're going to have anyway. As you're working through your project. So we'll put them in there. Okay, so you're getting the drift of that. Okay, so as we go down here, estimated budget, not applicable. And I'm going to go through the budget now. I'm conscious of time. I knew it would be around 2 hours. So I'm going to go through the budget after this. So you would, so you don't need the budget, so you could actually delete that. Um, and so what you need to do is then you need to copy and paste your work packages. You create the three packages and you add these in. Okay, obviously there is a video or a link to the prototype, so you can put that in as a report. You can put that in as a prototype with the type of document, or you can put in a document with a link. Okay, so you can delete all them with regard to the budget, staff effort, not applicable to you either. Subcontracting, see, it is yeah, but I wouldn't recommend it. Events and training, not to do with you either, because this would be for festivals and training organizations. Timetable you need. Okay, so the timetable you need to little bit of crafting here. You need to color and copy and paste the beige. So you beige out the tasks. So you add in the tasks that you want, the tasks that you've detailed in the work packages, and you put them in here. So this is projects up to 2 years, where it goes month by month, or it goes timetable projects of more than 2 years, which is going to be yours, and it goes quarterly. Okay, and then as we go down here, there's declarations. We confirm to the best of that is that's what it's like. Yes, yes, and ignore this list of annexes. The annexes you need to be focused on are the annex to the list of annexes in the call document and the one that appears in here. So ignore this page. I really wish they would get rid of this page. So ignore that one. List of previous projects. If you have received funding before, you add it in here, and then that's it. Okay, so that is part B. Now, with regard to the work packages, okay, see here that there is on some calls you have a budget at the end of each work package that they have to fill out. But for you, you have a Excel budget template. It's a macro budget. It's alive. And we'll go through that now. Sorry, I'm just noticing a couple of in the chats here. Is subcontracting necessary to add? No, not at all. Okay. So we are, yeah, so the work packages that you have here is going to be broken down the same in the Excel. So I think we're good with part B. We're all happy with part B and what it means. Oh, and there you go. It's actually 60%. It's not 70%. So you need to come up with 40%. Okay, of the sorry, that was my bad. You will need to come up with 40%, and Creative Europe can only provide 60% of the development budget. So whatever your development budget is, it has to be, you can only apply for 60%. Okay. So we will go, so there's your Bible. So keep that open at all times while you're doing this. So let's go back if we can find our page. So that one? Yes, it is. Okay, right. So down here. So there's your part B. You upload it. It's going to be less than 10 megabytes. Make sure you don't hit 70 pages or more than 70 pages because it won't actually go in the system, so they won't be able to see it, the extra pages. So the last one here is the detailed budget table. And this is where you need an extra strong espresso. And we will get started on this. Let me see, where is it? Okay. No, not you. That is a completely different call. Okay. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. So we've done that, we've done now here's the detailed budget. Okay. Very important. The first thing that comes up is, do you want to disable macros before opening the file? You don't disable macros. You need to enable macros for this. Sometimes it doesn't work for people, but you have to make sure that you enable the macros. This. Oh, this budget. Okay. Again, the instructions are life-saving. The instructions for this are really, really good, and you will need them. Okay. So it tells you what, recommend using Excel 2010 or more recent. Only currency is euro. It fills out everything. So please read this. Okay. And we will go through it. Okay. Direct personnel costs, it tells you exactly what you need to do. Okay. In the direct costs. So we'll go through this. Okay. Seriously, if you have a coffee, take a drink now. So right. Okay. So the name of the call is video games and immersive content. Okay. The acronym of your project, my wonderfully creative acronym was TEST. You put in the maximum grant amount. So the maximum grant amount is in this column, and I have drawn a blank. It's not really helpful on what the maximum amount is. Ashley and Jules, if you're there to pipe up and tell me what the actual amount is. Do you know what? I'm not sure. I'm going to put 500 in. Okay. 500. No, it's not 500. It's 2,000, 200. What am I talking about? Of course it's 200,000. See, a little bit of brain fog there. Okay, make sure you put in the right amount of zeros. Okay, so the maximum amount that you can apply for is 200,000. The maximum co-financing rate, which we just read in the call document, is 60%. Don't add an extra percent sign. It's still there, right? Okay, you have to fill this in because this dictates the rest of the application or the rest of the budget because it is a macro budget. Okay, I think this is a full page one. Okay, so here you put in the type of, can you all see that now? Hang on. Okay. Here you put in the type of employee, okay? And I will show, actually, that's not going to work because I can't see the whole thing. Apologies for that. Alrighty. So this could be, type of employee could be, development producer, um, it could be head of text or head of whatever your title is. I know that's not a name, but bear with me. Okay, so you have to fill these in. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Beneficiary list is the next page, right? Next page is so beneficiary one is your company. Okay, if you have an why see, I'm liking the name of that company. If you have another partner, you add it in. If it is just you just put it in, and I'm going to do is Ireland here. There we go. Okay. So if you wanted to add a beneficiary, you double click that and it's here. Okay, but I'm going to remove this beneficiary. And I'm going to apply changes. Right. So when you click apply changes, it looks like your computer is crashing. It's not. This is the macros and it's changing all of this and job done. Okay. So what it does here, now down at the bottom, you see all these tabs here? If you go into BE1 is beneficiary one, if you click here, you see your name of the company arrives up here. Okay. Now, if you had added in another beneficiary, there would have been a second budget here. Okay, and we'll go back to that lovely budget now in a minute. Work packages list. So not only is the budget going to be laid out per beneficiary, it's also going to be laid out per work package. Okay, so we're going to add in the work packages in exactly as you've put them in plan in the part B. Okay, so first one is artistic development. Okay, and then we'll double click and we'll add another work package, and then it's going to be technical development. And it's they have updated this and they've laid it out a lot more straightforward than it used to be. So it's very clear what each work package is. So this is the budget that's going to be directly linked to the work package that you have described in part B. Now, sometimes it's easier, it depends, sometimes it's easier to do the budget first and then add in your, fill in the part B then. So it depends, whatever way it works for you, that's fine. Just make sure that they both correlate, that it is, so you have figures in there that directly match the tasks and what you're doing in the work package. That's the most important thing. So here we go. This is the list of the work packages, right? So we double click, apply changes. Did it work already? Maybe it did. No, it didn't. Not yet. See, there's only one here. Um, there we go. Again, it looks like it's crashing. It's not crashing. It's updating. Okay. So that's all done. So then we go in to the budget and we try and make your budget fit. Okay. You can't, this is really difficult. Okay. You can't add in lines. You can't change the wording. I know you will all have a gorgeous looking budget for the development, which is very much detailed for and legible as per your video games. You have to make it fit in here. Okay. So like we said, the employees, right? So the head of innovation, which you have, obviously, they're going to appear in each of these work packages here. Okay, so your first work package is going to be the artistic development, second one, the technical development, and the third is the financing and marketing activities. Now, as you can see, it's exactly the same for each one, right? So you will put in, so units would be amount The units is cost per unit. Okay, so yeah, units are is um sorry, brain fog. The units is the way they do it is it's person months. Okay, so if you have your development producer, you could be working on three games at the same time, but just for this, you could be, they might be working on it 3 months. So that is what you would put in, okay, and cost per unit. And then the head of innovation, and then the other employees that you have. Now, if you have people under direct contract, you will put them in here. Okay. Seconded person are people from other companies that are seconded but are paid by another company. Not relevant for you. SME owners without salary, that you could not necessarily relevant to you because you are going to be working on this yourselves. Volunteers. So the ones that are going to be most important to you are the employees and the natural persons under direct contract. And again, it depends. So if again, this is just for artistic development up here. This is just for technical development, and this is for a third. Okay, so your titles here um, would be more general titles as opposed to you could say head of department. It might be easier. So then in each it'll be different. So then you've got your travel and subsistence per day, per travel or day in just for the artistic development. If you're traveling, if you're working with another company and you're traveling to work on specifically on the artistic, then you would put it in here. But probably wouldn't really fit for most of you in this. Down here, then we have equipment, but it's only depreciation for equipment. Consumables, you can put in there service for meetings, seminars, and events. Service for, again, not for this is artistic. We're just looking at this for artistic development here. Website fees. This is where a lot of yours would be here. Okay, so it'd be fees here. And for fees for unit cost, you can put in one. Okay, it's only for the salaries that you direct personnel costs that you talk about the months. Here it would be, if you've got two script writers, or you would put them in here. And um these are services as opposed to not under direct contract. So these would be technical people that would be separate. This is difficult. Okay, so and then the production costs and technical costs of prototyping, and then you've got the short-term rental of services, or venues or studios, and then you've got other. So if there is other costs related to this, you will add them into any comments down here. Okay. So here, and I'll go back to actually any comments over here. It's the last tab, and you put in the number of the comment, the beneficiary references, which would be 001, the work package reference, and the comment that it actually refers to. Okay, and then it'll automatically create your, well, I start putting, what time is it? It's 5. So I won't start putting figures in yourself, or myself, you'll be able to do that yourself. And indirect cost automatically comes up. So you will get indirect costs automatically, that'll appear here. Then as we go into technical development, then you'll have different costs coming in. You'll have different people. You will have, production costs and technical costs of prototyping will come in here. And then for financing and marketing activities, this is where you'll put in most of your travel and accommodation, where you're going to markets. You'll be having meetings, you'll be having website or services promotion for communication promotion. So a lot of those costs will go into here. So there are specific costs for specific work packages. So that's how you do it there. And I know you can't add in, but it is difficult. But if you have costs, put them in or other, and then go to any comments and fill in the detailed description of it in there. So that is what you need to focus on as you go through here, right? So we go through the other tabs. You don't touch this. I'll stick in a few figures just to show you. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. And then we're going to have some fees here. We're going to put in 4. Uh, 8,000, say 50,000. Oh, okay. And then as we go down for the next one, then we have technical development. So it's going to be um, more here. Now, these figures mean nothing, guys, so don't rely on these figures. I'm literally just putting these in to just show you um, what this means. Actually, that could be. Okay, and again, the financing. So you are going to go to say, five markets. So this is over the 3 years. Remember, this is all over the 3 years. So you're going to have six trips, and the travel is going to be say 500. Accommodation is going to be so six by 10,000. Um, so and then you can fill in subsistence and means so. And as you can see, as we go down, there's direct, indirect costs automatically appearing in each one here. Okay. So you can't touch that. Don't touch that. Just fill in. You can only fill in the white boxes. Don't touch the other ones. Okay. So what are we up to now? We're up to 175. Okay, we're nowhere near. Okay. Getting there though. Well, yeah, no, we'll leave it at that. Okay. So that is going to be the total cost of the total development cost of the game. Okay, not what you're applying for. This is the total development costs of the game, not the production costs, development. Okay, so as you go through here, so these are so you can see the estimated costs of the budget, right? So if there was a different beneficiary, it would be added here so you can see them side by side. Um, because a different tab would come up here would say beneficiary two, and you'd have to fill out the same if you if you did have a partner. Okay, and then when we go, that's proposal, that's estimated cost of the project. Proposal budget is here. It's the same thing, just lengthways. So as you see here, so everything is here, and then at the end, this is what you can apply for. This is the max that you can apply for because this is 60% because we already put in 60%, or the 200,000 is the max. So if it was a lot more, like if our total development budget was 800 grand, then the max here would be 200,000 anyway, right? So at the moment it's picking up 60% of the 175, 480, which is 105, 288. And that is what you apply, you add to your part A, which is here. Um, budget, you show the budget. That's what you add in here. Okay. So you add in here is 105, 288. Okay. It directly matches the maximum that you're allowed to apply for. Okay. So make sure they match. Okay. So that's there. And then as you go across, then this is your work package overview. This is your person months. Okay. So we got 14 person months here and then five here. Okay. Again, you don't touch any of these. Don't touch them. But it's just, it enables them to see exactly how much, and the person months is important for Brussels. So then we go to the depreciation costs. If you have equipment, you can't put it in, but you can put in the depreciation of it. Like it goes percentage used for projects, and the needed information for the justification of it. And then you have your any comments. So when you are finished with all of this, and if you have any questions, I know I stumbled through some of that. If you have any questions on it, get in touch with me. You can do a draft of it and send it to me, and I will go through it with you. Or if you go, look, I have a budget, and there's no way this will fit here. Like, where does this person go? Then we can go through it. Okay. But this other tab is the comments tab is very important, because you'll find you put a lot in there. And they
Uh,
are looking for more details. So try and be as detailed as you can be when it comes to the budget. Again, it's development and they understand that, but at least you've got a very strong plan. So that is your budget. Make sure it aligns with the tasks in the work packages. That each work package is very much aligned with the task because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for, it has to be coherent. Okay, and this is how they will see that it's coherent. And then this is when you download this, just make sure that it's not an XLSM, right? So this is an XLSM. If I saved it now, it's a macro one, but you can't upload a macro one. So just make sure that you oh, hang on, save and exit forms. So just make sure that when you save it, that you save it as XLS or an XLSX, and then you upload that here. Okay.
Orla, there's just a
Yeah.
question in the chat there from
Oh,
Matty.
perfect. Yes, you're right. It's 200,000. Yeah, that was a bit of a brain out there. Are there EU rates for traveller subsistence, or is this at the discretion of the company's policy? Good question. There are EU rates. Um, at the moment, it's 109 for Ireland. But yes, it depends what country you're going to. I will send that. We will send that to uh, to you. It can be found on the EU website, and there it has been updated very recently. So I think for Ireland it's a but Ireland won't make a difference for you because you'll be traveling to other countries. So I will send that. We was myself or Ashling will send you the link to that document, and I will give you the the right, yeah, because the closer you are to the actual the rates, the better it is, because at the end of the day they will look back on that. So yeah, okay. Anything else? I think that is pretty much everything here. Okay, so we've gone through the part C, we've gone through the media database, we've gone through the part A or the edit forms, and then we've gone through each of the templates. And hopefully you're able to fill in a lot as we were going through this, because all those little details, it can take time if you're looking through manuals and stuff. So at least that's done. And now you can actually focus on the actual application itself. Um, so I think that's it. So I will stop recording now, and whether you're watching this on a recording or you're here now, just any questions at all, get in contact with myself in Dublin, or Aisling, or Jules, and Nicurher is in the office in Galway as well, and she can help too. So you have 29 days, as Maddie said, until the deadline. So you do have time. Don't wait till the last minute, and double check all your information, get somebody else to look over it. If you have any questions about the rights documents, Emirates are really good, and Colin and a lot of them are very, very experienced with these calls, so they'll be able to help you with that. We can get out the red pen and go through the application. So if you want to send us a draft, we can't guarantee anything, but we can go through the application, sort of steer you on the right track. So if you've anything else, I'm going to stop recording.